The Plyler versus Doe court case in 1982 was important in deciding who was allowed to be enrolled within the public school system and where funding would go. In 1975, the state of Texas revised its education laws by passing new legislation that denied and withheld funding to educate students who were not legally admitted into the United States. It also allowed individual school districts to deny them enrollment into school if they wanted to. Many school districts across the state took up the invitation from this newly passed law to kick their students out of school. 2 years later, after the law was passed, the Tyler Independent School District adopted a policy requiring foreign-born students to pay tuition if they were not legally admitted, a fee of $1,000 per year per student. Under the school district's policy, children were considered legally admitted if 1. They possessed documentation showing that they were legally present in the United States, or 2. Federal immigration authorities confirmed they're in the process of securing such documentation. The effects of this new passed law within the state were felt immediately, as poor Latino and English second language learner students were driven from out of the classroom. Many Latino families could not afford to send their kids to private school, or in cases like Tyler Independent School District, pay the tuition fee. The Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, known as the MALDEF, filed suit, which was later consolidated with a similar lawsuit from Houston. The MALDF, on the behalf of a group of students from Mexico who could not establish that they were legally admitted, brought a class action lawsuit challenging the policies. They were known as the side of Doe. The case was first brought to the district courts. The court found that neither the revised law nor its implementation had either the purpose or effect of keeping illegal aliens out of the state of Texas. The district court also found that the increase in enrollment in Texas public schools was primarily attributed to the admission of children who were legal residents. Finally, the district court found that while barring undocumented children would save money, it would not necessarily improve the quality of the education. The court then concluded that illegal aliens were entitled to the protection of the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment and that the Texas legislation violated it, ruling in favor of the Mexican-born students and the MALDEF. A federal appeals court upheld the injunction, although its decision rested on constitutional rather than preemption grounds. The school district then filed a petition with the Supreme Court, which granted the case for review. When the case went to the Supreme Court, the main question was whether denying undocumented children of illegal immigrants their right to attend public schools constitutes discrimination based on alienage that violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court on June 15, 1982, based this ruling on the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which says, "No state shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws." By a 5-4 vote, the court concluded that the Texas legislation violated the Equal Protection Clause. The court explained that the education has a fundamental role in maintaining the fabric of our society, and provides the basic tools by which individuals might lead economically productive lives to benefit us all. Further, while persuasive arguments support the view that a state may withhold benefits from people whose presence within the country is a result of unlawful conduct, the children of such illegal entrants can neither affect their parents' conduct nor their own status, and legislation during the ones of a parent's misconduct against his children does not comport with the fundamental conception of justice. Accordingly, the majority affirmed the lower court's ruling. With the concurrence of the court's decision, Justice Blackmun voted that when a state provides an education to some and denies it to others, it immediately and inevitably creates class distinctions of a type of fundamentally inconsistent with the purposes of the Equal Protection Clause, because an uneducated child is denied even the opportunity to achieve. When those children are members of an inevitable class, the state has created a separable and identifiable underclass. With a dissent, Chief Justice Warren E. Burger said, "The dissent asserted that any issues concerning whether or not to admit children of undocumented immigrants into public schools should be dealt with by the legislature as opposed to the judiciary." The dissenting justices agreed that it would be folly and wrong to tolerate creation of a segment of a society made up of illegal persons. However, they concluded that such a decision should be made by the political branches because it is a policy issue inappropriate for the court to undertake. Chief Justice Burger and the other 3 judges that voted no all agreed that these laws were bad and everyone should be offered an education, but they believed it was not their right as judiciaries to make this decision.
Created using Powtoon.